2, 1. Just for a moment then. Anyway, first of all, introduce music. I can't say it now.
Conspiracy music guru. I know it's a mouthful, isn't it? It's such a mouthful. If I had my chance again, I wouldn't call myself that, but it was just the first thing that came to my head when I first started doing what I was doing. And you know, people get a little bit upset with the word guru. They say, "Oh, you're calling yourself some sort of guru," but if you really look up what the name guru means, it just means mentor. I'm sort of guiding people through the world of truth and conspiracy with my music. So hence conspiracy music guru. I know it's a bit of a mouthful and people struggle with it.
I think I wanted to call you Alex at the same time. Just sort of like, yeah, sorry, Alex.
Alex is way easier, isn't
anyway,
it?
You've got it on your up above. It says music, a conspiracy music guru, just there in your box.
Yeah, all I can see is it says you. But
oh,
anyway,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a really long time, Alex. Glad to speak to you, and it's great that things are moving forward for you.
Yeah, I mean, I just, like I said before we came on, I'm just like this mad little wizard in my little cave here. You know, I've got a little 3 meter by 7 meter studio. It's not exactly Abbey Road Studios I'm working out of here. It's all built by my own fair hands. As I've got my channel of me building it from scratch. So it's just like my little man cave, if you like, my little studio where I just sort of lock myself away from the world and get busy. And now I'm doing, you know, the music has taken a bit of a backseat at the moment because David Weiss gave me an idea to make books out of my music videos, and he was right to suggest that because it was a great idea. And he made that suggestion 3 months ago, and now I've got 3 books out. I've just finished my 4th, and so I'm busy doing that. So it's kind of, I lock myself away from the world really, and I don't do as many streams or interviews and that because I just, you know, I don't know, sometimes I just feel I'm more effective if I just shut off from all of it and just continue to do this work because I can see it resonating and I want to do more of it. I just wish I had more of me because I've got so many ideas that I want to do, but only one pair of hands, sadly. So yeah, I've been off the scene a little bit, so apologies for that, but we're here now, so let's have a nice chat.
Also, you know, I feel for you with the editing. It can take hours, can't it?
It takes months. My videos used to take months. The first ones I did, my video called Space is Fake took me 3 months. And I spent a lot of time on that because I was showcasing it at the conference and I wanted it to be the best video it could be. So visually, that's really strong, that song. But that took me 3 months because I'm using really basic software like iMovie. My first videos, I was recording it on an iPhone, so it's, you know, it's not a pro setup by any means, but it just takes a really, really long time. And if you've got a creative imagination and, you know, you can figure out a bit of green screen. I've got a green screen that pulls down from the roof here that I put in. You'll see that on my video on my channel where I build all that. So it's just, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of headaches. When I'm involved in a project, I don't sleep because I'm just figuring out everything. So the storyboard always in my head. I never write anything down. I just get it all in my head first, and then I go, right, I get into the studio, have a creative burst, lock myself away from one, like I said, and just try and, you know, get that content out there. And you know, I'm doing it all from this little studio in Spain, and it's resonating with people. You know, that's really nice, and it's changing people's minds and paradigms, and they're getting to see the world in a different way through music and comedy. And I love that. I love that. So I want to do more. At least now I feel like I've got a purpose and I'm contributing to this movement, if you want to call it that.
Oh, Alex. Say, Alex, so you're putting your songs into books.
Yeah, I am. It wasn't really, I can't claim the idea because it was David Weiss's idea. He put it to me 3 months ago in the stream. He said, why don't you make your songs into books? I don't know how we got into that conversation, but initially I was like, no, bro, I can't do that. How the hell do you? I had no idea how to make a book, how to do the format.
Does that mean say, I can't remember how many songs you've done, but just say it's 10? Does that mean
it
10
does?
books?
Yeah, exactly. Every song off of this album. So this is my Flat Earth Man album.
Well, hang on, it's got, that's it. Put it back because it's just, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the album that I released in 2018, and basically from track 1 to track 10 is my whole awakening about satellites and gravity and the moon landing and the photographs of Earth. And when I started learning all that for a musician, it's just like, oh my God, I finally got something to write about now instead of those test songs I used to do in the pubs. So when I started learning all of that, I created that album. And to cut a long story short, David Weiss said, well, why don't you, and I made the videos obviously to go with it, which are very visual and very informing. And they've got lots of information in those. And
I loved your videos. Your videos are amazing. I love them.
Thank you. They're
You've done
very, very
really well on
animated.
them.
They're very animated. They're very colourful, and children like them. And I didn't, when I was first making those videos, I didn't think that it would resonate. I didn't know it was going to resonate with children. But when I went to a conference, mothers were coming up to me saying, I use your videos to teach my children about NASA and that sort of thing. And I was hearing constantly this thing that children were loving my videos. And then to fast forward to a couple of months ago, Dave White said, well, why don't you put them into children's books? You've already got the videos, you've already got the lyrics, they're already written. You just have to work out how to book. So I reached out to the community.
And how easy's that been to do then?
Well,
Easy?
for me, no, not for me, but we shouted out to the community, and a guy stepped up by the name of Lao Singh, who helped me to format the very first book, which was Don't Believe in Gravity, which is a very popular song of mine on YouTube. Don't believe in gravity. And so he helped me to format it and get it, and he helped me with the design of it all. And so it's basically the song.
What age group are you trying to get there? 6, 7-year-olds?
About that, yeah. I mean, it's sort of reading age, really, just when, I don't know, yeah, sort of, this is not really just for children. I mean, we're all big kids anyway, aren't we, really? So this is to instill, I mean, my music videos work for adults.
The dad says, I'm just buying my son the book, but he reads it first.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So these books, they're great for invoking critical thought, as well as helping you to read. And in the back, we've got a QR code, which kids are great with technology, so they can scan the QR code at the back of the book, and it will take them straight to the music video, so they can sing along with the music video. So it's now a karaoke book. So from page to page, it's it's teaching everything.
Was that your idea then? Was that your idea?
No, that wasn't my idea. That was David Wise's idea as well. And he said, yeah, and obviously got Dave being Dave said, can you put the QR code for the app in the back as well? I was like, yeah, of course you can, mate. So yeah, they're great for helping you to read, for singing, for social aspect, for invoking critical thought, that sort of thing. So there's basically the songs in book format. So we've got Don't Believe in Gravity, Do You Still Believe We Went to the Moon? And the latest one is a puppet show about the fake station and all of that. So they're very sort of bright and vibrant and informative. Already getting some really good reviews. It's really early days yet, but it's a really exciting project, and it's gonna take me a while to get 7 books out, which is the ultimate goal. Like 7 tracks off the album. I'm not doing 10 books because there's 3 tracks on the album which are not really child friendly. One, for instance, I don't want to talk about NASA. The video is me basically going through the video, like getting drunk, really, because like he's losing all of, like, Flat Earth Man is losing all of his friends because he's talking about NASA. So that's not.
That would have been interesting for the children, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that book, that song's not really child friendly, and there's a couple of others that the videos are not really child friendly. So it's only going to be 7 books, 7 songs out of the 10 songs that I made with the Flat Earth Man character. But I'm 4 books in after about 3 months, and there's going to be 7 by September. So the music has taken a bit of a back at the moment, but the books are doing great things. People are sending me photographs of them with their kids, and they're captivated by it. And I'm getting 5-star reviews on Amazon. And I never thought I'd be a children's author, but here I am doing it because of Dave. And I'm glad he pushed me to do it. I'm really glad, because I'm very proud of what I've achieved there. So. Yeah,
I know it was his idea and everything, and thank you to him, but you've done it, not him. You did it, so well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it just takes someone.
And Alex, if people want to get these books, what do we do? Just go over to Music Guru and.
I mean, you can go on to conspiracymusicguru.com. There, my singles, my albums, that sort of stuff, and there's a little tab at the top that says books, and you'll just go there and find which book you like, click which one you like. It will take you to Amazon. I know Amazon are the big demon, and everybody's like, why are you selling your stuff on Amazon? It's surely, it goes against everything you stand for. But let me just say that the reason I use Amazon is because I'm trying to get in front of the typical normie, your television watching news believer. I'm trying. All the normies hang out on Amazon, and it's sure enough, if you go to Amazon and type in homeschooling gravity book, my book is the first book that comes up. So that's the reason I use Amazon, because I'm like a Trojan horse in the beast system, in the belly of the beast there. So I continue to use Amazon and YouTube for as long as I can, because that's where all the normies hang out. So yeah, it will take you to Amazon, and I know a lot of people will be pissed off with that, but it is currently the best option for me, I feel.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the thing is, we do live in this place, don't we?
Well, we have
in many ways, but
exactly. I mean, that Amazon are not going away They're not going away. Even if all of the truthers and all, like, let's say 80% of the people in the world think Amazon is the best thing since sliced bread, and even if the other 20% just stop using Amazon, it would have no effect whatsoever. Amazon are always going to be here. Apple, Google, they're always going to be here. So if they're always going to be here and we can't do anything about it, which I feel we can't, then we should use those systems against the system. So that's why I refer to myself as a Trojan horse in the Matrix, you know, just upsetting the system with books like this, which teach children all about the Apollo nonsense. So that's why, you know, if I'm going to take my stuff off of Amazon because people hate Amazon, then I've got to take my stuff off of Google, then off of iTunes, and take, you know, my music off of Spotify because they're not no better. And then I'm
on YouTube. Can't go on YouTube either.
Yeah, and then my music and my books are not going to be in front of anybody just for principle. So I'm trying to reach as many people as I can is the point. And Amazon and Google and iTunes, I use them because I need to reach people because that's where they hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the fast world we live in, isn't it? Everybody orders everything, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All mail order now, isn't it, really?
Oh, it's next day. It's better than that. You could just press a button. You don't even have to go through any sort of payment thing. You set up a one-click system, bang, and it's there on your door the next day. I mean, it's just...
Well, for this hangout, I can probably put that link in the description of the post, or you message it with your details in.
Yeah, just conspiracy music. If people can remember 3 words, conspiracy music guru, put that together. You got conspiracymusicguru.com. Go there and you'll find all my stuff. There's a lot of conscious music there, obviously. And there are conscious books for children. So, yeah, if we can get children critically thinking about things like the moon landing and the photographs of Earth and alternative understandings of gravity and what's going on the Earth.
Can I say something else as well? You know, like some of the other things, you're a part of it and you have no control over it, but this you do.
Sorry, what do you mean? I don't.
Well, you know, like sometimes when you're in an awakened place, you're going to things. Other people are there. Other people are in charge. Whatever it is, but you're in control of this whole thing. I don't mean it rudely or wrongly. I just mean your books, all like your.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in control of it for now. I mean, there might be a time where somebody doesn't see that this is fit for children's reading, and I might get a bunch of complaints and blah blah blah. So I'm anticipating that there will be some.
You slipped in there, have you, Alex?
There might be a bit of pushback. You know, there might be a bit of pushback with it because, and so what. There is. So I've had videos taken down from YouTube. I've had stuff censored. I've had songs banned on Spotify. So I've already had I've had an interview taken down a couple of weeks ago. So I've already had my fair share of censorship. I'm trying to bypass the algorithms on YouTube by making smarter lyrics and that sort of stuff. But one day I can see that my YouTube channel won't be there. I can see that my books might be taken down from Amazon one day. But whilst I have the opportunity, I want to get as many out as possible. So one day, possibly, I might just have a website and no YouTube and none of all of that. But we'll see how I can dodge the censorship for now. But it's coming. I'm not stupid. I know what kind of a world we live in.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens when we use their systems, isn't it? You know, we all, you know, I've had to pick other things to do. You know, we used to be called a Flat Earth Channel, but I don't anymore.
Yeah. No, I get you. I know what you're saying with that. I've got a friend who's an activist.
Not. I am, but we have to just.
No, I'm with you 100%. I much prefer the phrase globe denier or globe skeptic. I think that's, or you know, talking about true Earth and that kind of thing.
I used to say flatty.
Yeah. No, I've got a friend who's an activist here, and he hates to be called a flat earther, but he is, and he knows he is, but he hates to be called that because he knows it's such a triggering phrase. He prefers globe skeptic, and he does well. He's very good with words, but yeah, I get that. I get the whole flat Earth is very triggering for a lot of people.
Yes, but once you see it, you can't go back, can you? That's
no. I mean, I'm in this position now because of it. You know, I'm spending.
You've got a lovely life in Spain.
It's not bad.
You have.
It's not bad. I mean, I get to dictate what I do every single day, depending on my mood, which is nice. If I'm creative, I get to come in the studio. If I'm feeling, you know, that I spent too much time in the studio, I'll go and spend it in the garden because I'm doing self-sufficiency. So there's always stuff to do in the garden. So I sort of spend half the time in the studio, half the time in the garden, and 9 times out of 10, it's sunny here. So yeah, we're very lucky. That's why we moved to Spain at the end of the day. But I'm in this position because, you know, I woke up to it. And like you say, once you go flat, you can't go back. And I want to tell the world through my music about this stuff. I'm not going flat earth, flat earth, flat earth, even though the character is called Flat Earth Man, but I didn't call the character Flat Earth Man. It kind of happened organically because the first song was called Flat Earth Man, and people were like going, "Oh, have you heard that song by the Flat Earth Man?" And I'm sitting behind the screen going, "No, it's not by the Flat Earth Man. It's by Conspiracy Music Guru. The song's called Flat Earth Man." And then the label just sort of stuck. So it wasn't a label that I gave to myself. It's sort of the internet gave me that label. But so yeah, I'm just trying to put some seeds into people's heads with catchy choruses and clever lyrics, and just trying to get people to see what I see. That's you know, and I'm here doing it pretty much full time now. So I think it's a really blessed road to be on, because the road I was on before of working in pubs and clubs and all of that sort of stuff and drinking, you know, so much. And, you know, I'm way healthier now than I was 20 years ago. And I think, you know, I think things like flat earth and conspiracies start putting you on the right track, because then you start to learn about health and fluoride and all these other things. And now I'm learning about DMSO, and, you know, I've never felt better. I've never been happier. I've got flat earth to thank for all of this, really.
Yeah. Yes, it's made me. I wouldn't say I'm a historian or anything, but that's where it's kind of leading me. You're just going to look things up, and
Researcher.
yeah, it's quite crazy. The other day we found out what Tsar means. Do you know what Tsar means?
Tsar, is it not a leader or something, or
It means it's an abbreviation of Caesar. And what's Caesar? The Roman Empire.
Uh-huh.
So that thing has never gone. It's still here, and we're still being run by the same people.
Oh, completely. All roads lead to Rome, right?
Whatever it is, Egyptian Roman, because it's got the flattened out eagles in it, and there's a flattened out phoenix. They're almost the same, except they're different birds. So there's something going on there. But you know, just the things that you learn, bits of history, and you're looking up things that you'd never look up before about dry stone walls. There's 2.5 million tons of it on some islands in Ireland, and you think 2.5 million tons of it. How do they do it? And we must have been so civilized, maybe a bit different, but we were so far along, and then something happened.
Something happened, and there's a lot of proof of that. Something happened. Like in the early 1800s, there was some kind of event. You know, if you start looking into the whole mud flood and the Tartario, however you say it, all of that is just like when you start looking at the free technology there was, the antiquitech that's everywhere, what cathedrals really were, and it's just like, oh my God, so basically everything is a lie, and we were probably getting free energy and a much more advanced civilization as early as like a couple of 100 years ago. It's like, it's such a mind-opening.
I looked things up, right? Things like, say, beds or shoes, cannons, boats, guns were the same for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. Nothing much changed. And then you just go and look these things up, and you realise how they've sort of hidden things. What about all the star forts? And we had all the canals, and you've got all these big buildings.
It was completely different world. A completely different world. The star forts as well is just such an enigma. No one really knows what they were or what they are or what they do, but they seem to have a connection to water. The water flowing through them, underneath them, around them. So what kind of world was it? It just so recent as well. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I love that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I talk quite a lot to a channel he's called Our Melted Reality, where he sees that some big event happened that burnt a lot of the bricks, even though it didn't destroy them. But he's saying the hotter it got, it actually turns the stone. At the end, you've got stone, not bricks.
Yeah, I mean, petrification can happen in a blink of an eye if you've got the right conditions. A lot of people think that petrification...
I know, what are we living on? I'm a bit worried about that. What, does it just happen occasionally, or...
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever heard of Stellium 7, but he's done a lot of work on a mountain that's very close to me. And Stellium 7 happens to me, and he's done a lot of work on a mountain. This mountain that stands about 1 kilometer high, and it's known affectionately in the area as the elephant, because it looks just like an elephant, and it has an eye and everything. And he's looked at the elephant with some microscopic detail, and he's traversed it and hiked all over this elephant, and he's found like over 50 anatomical correlations between this mountain and an actual elephant. So he believes, and so do I now, that I'm not just saying everything's a fallen type, all mountains are animals. I think There are some mountains that clearly have the anatomy of a vertebrae of some kind. There are some mountains that look like melting buildings. There's some mountains that look like cut, sawn off trees and things. I think things were a lot different. And I think, I don't know, some kind of, I mean, doesn't the Book of Enoch even talk about this giant titans of like a kilometer tall, that sort of thing? That sort of stuff, just, I can't even get my head around it. Well, it's just,
I have to say, another channel called Niven, he's doing stuff about elephants at the moment, saying that he can, like the town up the road from me, he reckoned it was an elephant. I wondered whether it was horses, because they've got horses everywhere. But
yeah, I mean, to say that it's an elephant is probably a bit, it might not be an elephant, but it's certainly a vertebrae of some kind, what my friend has discovered with this mountain that's nearby. I mean, it certainly has the anatomy of a vertebrae. It could be a mammoth.
Yeah, I have other channels as well. Sally, she does it as well, where she just sees animals.
Yeah, and that's what I see now. When I walk out my door, I used to see a few years. I used to see mountains. It used to look. And Spain is beautiful where I'm. It's just mountains everywhere. But these just big rocks that seemingly have no function whatsoever. It's like that just doesn't jive with me. And then when he presented me with all this information about this mountain ring nearby being a possible vertebrae, once upon a time, maybe a couple of 100 years ago, who knows what event there was? Some biblical event that petrifies everything and turns things into stone.
Do you know who Paul Cook is? He does a lot of. He did mountains. The water goes up to the top and comes over the top. So how does it do it?
I have no idea. I've always wondered that. I mean, is it pressure coming from the water table going up through the mountains? I don't know, but
I must admit, I was lying in the bath because I have a shower, but it's just attached to the taps.
Yeah.
And when you turn the taps on, it goes up that shower and comes out the top. So
that's pressure.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that. But it's amazing to think. He says nothing is natural. It's all man-made.
I think everything here was living once, even the mount. It's a weird one, but once you see Stellium 7's work, you're like, that's not a mountain. And I know some of it could be pareidolia, and you're seeing a face and blah blah blah. But I've seen so much photographic evidence now that just you can clearly see I don't know. I mean, you're talking folklore and mythology and that sort of stuff, but it's written. And the evidence.
Yeah, but we're finding a lot of that's the truth. That the wives' tales and all that. They're the truth.
Exactly. This place is way more magical than we've been led to believe. This is a place of dragons and wizards. And I think that there was dragons here, and I think that's a cover up for dinosaurs. And when I talk about wizards, you've only got to look at the Vatican and see how those guys dress. Right, they're your wizards. This is a more magical place than we realise. That's where I am now. This is like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I can see all that. Yeah, I can see all that, Alex.
Yeah, so once your mind is open to these sort of things, for a guy like me who's a creative bloke, I can only sort of put that sort of stuff into music. And maybe there'll be a Titan song one day. Maybe there'll be a Tartaria. I never know how to say that song.
I'd like to see you in some whatever it is, clothes with the little skirt and the little hat on.
Oh, come on. If I ever put a kilt on, then the transvestigation crew are going to start pointing their fingers. See, look, he's wearing a skirt. But no. Do you know
what as well? When you actually think about it, the Scottish wear kilts. And the Romans wore kilts of a kind. They're all the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's where it all comes from. I think that, there's so many more dots that I need to connect. I mean, there's so many more. All they did
was mind control us away from everything and make us believe in fantasy, which is what your books are about.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It is all fantasy. I think the whole heliocentric model is fantasy. The moon landing, all fantasy. The ISS, all fantasy. Satellite, all of that sort of stuff. Moon, star, solar system, orbiting, spinning, wobbling, tilting, and blah.
When I talk to people, right, and I say what I am, I actually say, look, you believe we're traveling in 3 different directions, one anti-clockwise with the moon, and then we're traveling with the sun and then the universe the other way. And when you add up the speed, that's Mach 80, and you're all right with that, are you?
It's nonsense. You could apply any number to it now. You could say Mach 1 million, and it wouldn't matter, and people would
they're not going to listen anyway, but they just don't care. And also, they're travelling through a space that a big asteroid could hit you or something.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on all of that.
Yeah, me too, I'm afraid. Sorry.
So yeah, going back to the books again, that's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, I woke up to that sort of stuff and saw it for the religious belief the religious nonsense that it is. The whole heliocentric model comes from the Catholic Church, right? I think it was a Jesuit by the name of Lemaitre or something that first theorized the heliocentric, spinning, wobbling, tilting, blasting through space on all the water, but all of that. It's just so laughable when I see it. Now, every time I see a globe, I laugh about it now. And I don't know, and it's very, very freeing, incredibly freeing. I love knowing, you know, that we're in this, well, not so much love knowing that we're in an enclosed place, because sometimes I think, well, maybe this is an enclosed place, you know, like almost as a prisoner and I'm a slave. But in a way, it's
That's
very,
right, though, Alex. Unfortunately, that's it. What are we doing here?
I do. I've said to my buddy on many occasions, I said, do you ever think that this might be the bad place? This might be like, you know, we're born sinners or whatever it says biblically, and maybe we're all being, you know, suffering or I don't know, paying a price for something. But when you look around at the people that are running this place and how awful it is, it's just like sometimes I struggle to feel that this is, you know, this place is being run with
Real?
intent. It's so unreal. So I don't know.
Do you know what I see, Alex? I've slowed down so much footage now, and what it is you know, people like Biden and Boris, the Queen. I know Prince Philip's gone, but Prince Philip, Prince Harry, Prince Charles, Prince William. I've done that one. They've all got blue eyes. Boris. I've done Biden and Trump, and then Kate and Meghan have got green eyes, but when you see them on the television, they've all got black eyes.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the black eye stuff. It's like it's almost like an alien invasion, isn't it? That's what I see. What's the word when aliens come in? They try to make the place.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the mindset that this place is being, I think the word is terraforming or something, or terraforming or something.
They've been run by cartoons.
Yeah, I think that it's I don't know, just when you look at things on the world stage.
I mean, in America, they haven't had any baby food and stuff, you know, like formula and that. They've got us terrified, petrol things. They're organising it all.
Yeah, see, this is why I go from up to down, up to down, up to down, and I try to shut myself away from.
Yeah, I don't blame you, because if you open the door and you look at it all, you're like, oh my God, I'm absolutely terrified.
Yeah, it's like we're all screwed. We're all completely and utterly screwed. So I don't know. I go from having, you know, up and down really.
I get you on that one, because sometimes, you know, I find things out at like 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is, and I've got no one to talk to. I just think, oh my God.
Yeah, what's going on is incredible, isn't it? It's on one hand, I feel like really.
The other day, I didn't see when the Queen's thing happened. They said the Duchess of Cornwall and the Duchess of Cambridge, which is Prince Charles's wife, and Kate, was sitting in this carriage going in with the children. But when I looked at the footage, I didn't see Kate. There was someone else there, and sometimes she looked more like Diana. And then nobody noticed that the Queen had a suit on with a laurel round it, so and it went down the front of her suit. So they were showing that she is the head of the UN and everything.
Oh my God! It's if people could understand the coding behind it all, then I think their minds would be. But some people are just not prepared for that kind of symbolism.
I know we need to go out with blinkers on. No, don't look at me! Don't look at me! Don't know. I'm not looking at that. It's quite.
It's disgusting. I mean, the whole Jubilee thing, I didn't catch a single frame of that because it's just repulsive to me how people can line up with their Stockholm syndrome, applauding the very person that's enslaving them, that could end world fucking hunger in a heartbeat. But it goes way deeper than that, or what's going on with these elite families, a lot deeper. So when you start looking at it, it becomes quite depressing and demonic.
I know it does, especially as you start finding out, like. It was through two people talking, I realised that what they were saying was that Mad King George, he was before Queen Victoria. So here he went mad and he disappeared from the limelight, and his son kind of took over while he was away. And he went to America and he became George Washington. And then he got the corporation and brought it back here. And no matter how I look, I can't see that we ran America. The Mexicans were running America. The Mexicans, and suddenly it was us, and now they got this Independence Day for us, which actually is a corporation to us.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my, it's just everything is different to what you thought it was.
It's an inverted realm, and this is why I see it as an incredibly inverted realm. Everything in this realm is inverted. You know, teachers destroy education, politicians destroy freedom, doctors destroy health. Everything's inverted.
Yeah, I
It's
agree
just
with you on that.
when you see it, it's very, 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 very unnerving and very unsettling. But
I know that's
I
because
like to
we
have
had
fun
this
with it.
world that we believed in, and now you can't believe in any of it.
No, it's the whole world's a stage, right? Even the guy that said the whole world's a stage, Shakespeare, is a fictional character anyway. It was a pseudonym, apparently.
And do you know what? Do you know the theatre in London, the round one, the Globe? That looks like a I can't remember, it's psychodrama. These are things where they used to spin round the scenery inside, and there's only a few of those in the world, but that's what that actually looks like. But it's called the Globe Theatre. So we'll never know how much. Oh, we just seem so refined. That was the other thing. Oh, that's it. We've got cars and cameras back to the 1700s now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of electric cars as well in the 17 and 1800s, and probably before that. And so
I know, it's just incredible. It's like I can't explain it. It's like, oh, it's just, I just find it incredible.
Where we are is a joke. It's just, I mean, what's the whole idea? You've got to bring heaven to earth. I don't think that's possible. I know, but this is an unpopular opinion, but the more I understand about this realm, the more I keep thinking this has got to be the bad place. You know, it's even in our language when we say hello.
Yes,
hello.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say hello to anybody. You're saying hell.
Yeah.
Hello, hell.
It's funny, like when you've got an engine on a car that doesn't work and it's seized up, it's seized, an engine is seized. If you unseize that engine, it starts to work again. You're deceasing it. It's deceased. It's deceased. So when we're all dead here, we're deceased. We start to live again. We start to work again. So it's like live, evil, devil is lived. It's just like an inverted realm to me. The more I see it, the more I'm starting like, hold on. Biblically,
Dog is God. Dog is God backwards.
God, yeah. Biblically, Satan is supposed to be the prince of this world. It's like, well,
And then what was it? A psychotherapist. I think when you break the words down, is the rapist.
Yeah, the rapist. Yeah, the therapist. Yeah, exactly. Which is what they're doing. They're raping your mind. It's such an inverted realm. And when you see it...
Do you know what the saddest thing is? It's not that you want to be so on your own that you don't even hear anybody knocking on the door. But we seem to heal ourselves. They destroyed all that. The salt seas and salt swimming pool, all these things, they destroyed it and put us onto farmer. But we were just so different. I just can't believe we got here. And it's got to be back to my grandparents' parents. I don't know what's happened. I don't think we've been here that long either. I think it all happened about Henry VIII's time. That War of the Roses was something.
Isn't there a conspiracy that they've added 1,000 years to the timeline or something like that?
What they don't explain, you know, like they've said that they were arguing, that the Yorks were arguing with the Lancasters. They seem to have forgotten, but then you find it that's still the same. They're still Plantagenets.
What is
well, the oh my God, which way round is it? I think it's the Yorks. We'll just say the Yorks. They are from the family, the Plantagenets. And there's a couple of families which the Queen comes from a different reign. In fact, she's illegitimate, to be honest. Anyway, so the Plantagenets were running us, but when we got to Henry VIII, then we got the Warring of the Roses, and after that, Henry VIII came in, and it was Tudor.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know anything about that.
What I'm just trying to say is, with the Roses and the Lancaster, they never said that they were the same family fighting. Did you know that? I didn't know that. You just find these things out.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that. That's
I just think it happened then. You know, if you can get cars and that back to the 1700s, you know, Elizabeth's 1500s, you start these dates are getting closer together.
Yeah, I think we're relatively new. I think that I don't think we've been around for millions and billions and billions of years. I think we're very, very recent, and that's a very uncomfortable.
What about the old building? I call anything we don't know, I call it Tartaria. I say it sometimes. Like any history we don't know, it's Tartaria to me, because we don't know buildings were made. Were they made before and they're just the last lot or whatever?
I don't know. Anything's possible these days, but when you start seeing these huge, some of them like Gothic, and they stand like, some of them just incredibly tall, incredibly ornate, and some of these cathedrals with the resonant patterns in the windows and in the domes, and the circuit board kind of.
And do you know what? You know the churches where the arches go up and they bend over, like a bit like a cross, but a bent cross on the ceiling. They're the Normans. That's the 11th century. Right. How many churches do you see that in? You see that quite often. What? They were built in the 11th century. They could do that in the 11th century.
No way, not with horse and cart. No, so they were obviously a lot more advanced and had better technology, and the free energy it was everything from what you can see.
Yeah, Notre Dame was built in the 11th century, I think, or the end of the 11th century.
And why did they take that down? Why did that thing come down? Right? Why was there a fire? What was all that about?
Some kind of ceremony? Got to be a fire. Got to be a fire. They've got to destroy it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's such a web of information, and I'm still trying to connect all the dots to try and figure out what I am, where I am, who I am, where we're going next, what this place is, and all of that. And I'm still a 10-year-old boy. I only woke up to some of this information starting with 9/11 10 years ago. So fast forward to now, 10 years later, I'm just still sort of figuring out about NASA and what this realm is, and now Tartaria and Star Force.
Do you know, I think NASA is. I think they're the people that film it all for the news stations.
Right.
They are given $57 million a day, aren't they? Whatever it is, and we know that they don't do the rest of it. I've seen videos where they want to take over down here with everything, with flying, looking after the mail, you name it, they will look after it. They haven't even done up there yet, so it's really strange that they want to be down here. It's a NASA thing, and they've linked with this research centre, which is all to do with cognitive engineering, so we know what that's about. And then because we've got so much of this new stuff, they must be the ones filming it all.
We're living in a technocracy, aren't we? I think we know where it's going. We know the transhumanist agendas. We know about Agenda 21, Agenda 30. I don't think there's much we can do about it apart from distancing ourselves from this system, stop acquiescing. I hate to sound like David Icke when I say that, but it's true. We've got to start saying no.
Yeah, we've got to turn our backs on them and just get alive somehow.
Which is what I'm trying to walk the walk. I'm trying to inspire others with that. I don't know if you saw my video about my garden tour, which showed everybody like how I grow my own food, and I got my own rain catchment system and all that, because I can see I'm living in a failed system, a system that doesn't support me, and I've got to learn the skills of how to support myself. Sad that I'm learning this when I'm about 50 years old, but I wish I'd have learned this sort of information 30 years ago, in which we all should have. We would have been incredibly more empowered now, but that's why they don't teach us. They indoctrinate us. But I think that's the only way out of this. If we start putting our big boy pants on, start saying no to these fucking tyrants, and start learning to support ourselves rather than using this system to support us.
I think it's probably better, because I call it like the nanny state. We go to the plastic supermarkets. I'm just as bad, but my grandparents used to grow all their vegetables.
And they used to, yeah, exactly. And they were all living off of,
It's not even that long ago, but people today, like the youngsters today, won't even know what that is.
Most people, and I didn't even know till a couple of years ago. I had no idea you could take a potato, cut it in half, put it in the ground, and you get more potatoes. And the same with tomatoes. I had no idea. So I'm just learning this stuff as a 50-year-old man, which is shocking, absolutely shocking, because I was disempowered when I was a child, obviously.
Yeah, we're not taught any of this stuff at school, how to look after ourselves.
Exactly. And there's a reason for that, obviously. So thank God I'm learning it now, better late than never. So yeah, some of my time is spent in the garden trying to do that. I've got a long way to go, but a lot of our food, I would say more than 50% of our food is coming from the garden, fresh. And obviously, we still have to go to the supermarket for things, which annoys me because, they're not food markets, they're poison markets as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just doing it slowly. It's not going to happen overnight, but to just distance myself from this system, get rid of my smartphone. I've just done that. I've got a dumb phone. We've both got dumb phones now, me and the wife. And we just slowly, bit by bit, over the last few years, cancelling Netflix, television's gone, Wi-Fi is all gone. It's all hardwired, water distiller. Taking supplements.
What's hardwired then? What's hardwired?
It means you don't have Wi-Fi. You don't have a Wi-Fi signal. You don't have any radiation in your house whatsoever. So you take an Ethernet cable from your router and you plug it straight into the device that you want internet from. So in my computer that I'm working on now, there's no Wi-Fi in this studio at all. It's all Ethernet cable and hardwired. You get a more stable signal, and you're not being
Was it
radiated.
the video stop? Oh, I see, you're going again now. Sorry, I thought something came up on my screen, but you're going again now. Carry on. Sorry, Alex. Carry on.
There was me talking about a stable connection, and then my video froze. That's the irony right there. But
it might be mine.
Yeah, it might be. But yeah, with an Ethernet cable, you get a more stable connection. And the main thing is that you are not radiated by these Wi-Fi, these router devices, because when you take an EMF reader and you put it near a Wi-Fi router, you'll be shocked at what you can read off your EMF. I did a whole song about this. It was called "No Amount of Evidence Will Ever Convince an Idiot." It's on my YouTube channel, and it's all about radiation and 5G and what they're doing with 60 gigahertz and it's quite an eye-opener. So I'm very radiation aware. So I don't have a smartphone anymore. I have a smartphone, but I don't have a SIM card in it. I connect it with a hard wire to the Ethernet with an adapter. So I've got like a little computer on my sofa, and then I can look at Facebook and WhatsApp and all of those things, but I'm not being radiated whilst I do those things. And if I'm out and about, I take my dumb phone in case the wife needs to call me. So these things are tracking devices as far as I'm concerned. They're radiating devices. They're not there for your entertainment, just like a television. So yeah, I'm very radiation aware. So I have Wi-Fi in my house.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, once you know, it's like, you know, it's like saying once you go flat, you don't go back. Once you start opening your eyes to what's going on with Wi-Fi and 5G, you don't go back, and you do everything you can to hardwire everything and get the radiation out. Once you buy one of those EMF readers and you start walking around your house and seeing the levels that thing is putting with your Wi-Fi router, your phone, Bluetooth devices, Bluetooth speakers, once you start measuring what these things are putting off, you'll be like, holy shit, how did I ever allow these things into my home?
Wow. Yes. Well, I'm glad that you've changed everything.
Are you sitting there with Wi-Fi right now? Aren't you? You sound like, oh shit, I've got to do something about this now.
It's a cable one, so it's not like one of those routers. I don't quite know how it works. It's not even a router. I don't know what it is. It's a box, but it's cable.
Right. If it's cabled, you should be all right. I mean, if you can get a Wi-Fi signal in your place, then you're getting there. There is some stuff in the air that you don't really want there, really. I think these things are here to interrupt our sort of auric field, our electromagnetic.
When I say I lose my signal, I go there and I could see how many, obviously, in like round me, how many people have got Wi-Fi. Well, that must all affect you. Everybody else's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, it's all affecting you. It's causing a disruption in your electromagnetic field. It's causing a disease. This is where disease comes from, you know, when you are not flowing. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Ley lines out in my road here. There's 3 ley lines go past my house. So that's probably active as well.
You should get yourself an EMF reader. You can probably pick them up on Amazon now for about 50, 30. No, I saw one for about $30 the other day. And just walk around the house and just see what kind of levels you're picking up. I think
that sounds frightening, actually.
It is. Everything's frightening, isn't it? That's the thing. But, you know, all I'm offering is the truth, as Morpheus would say. You know,
like water, isn't there? You know, we should all be drinking. What is it when you boil the water and the steam off of it? I can't remember what it's called.
Distilled water, yeah, you get a distilled.
Distilled, yeah. We should be drinking distilled water, not.
Yeah, and we do.
And then when it is, well, I'm drinking bottled water because it's better than tap water. And then when you look into that, no, the plastic's bad.
No, plastic is. But the only way, in my opinion, there's other ways. The best way is to take pure spring water from a spring and then distill it. But no one's really got access to a pure spring. So distill it. Absolutely, it's probably the best in my opinion if you're going to drink water. I've been distilling my water for about 5 years now, and then add minerals to it because a lot of people say it takes all the mineral content out of it. So add, you know, Himalayan sea salt or salt and that sort of thing, and magnesium and all of those sort of things, which is what we do on a regular basis. We do collagen, we do DMSO, we do all of these things because, you know, as far as I'm concerned, we're under this multi-pronged attack. It's poison in the air, it's poison in the water, it's poison in the music, it's poison in the food, everywhere. So you have to sort of be aware, put your big boy pants on and start, recognizing that there's poison coming from the Wi-Fi. I mean, I know it sounds very paranoid, but once you get a meter and you start going around your house and you start what should and shouldn't be in your house, and then, you know, I mean, since I've turned my Wi-Fi router off, I've been sleeping a lot better. So there's something that I used to get heart palpitations, anxiety all of that sort of thing when I was, you know, sitting there on my phone and right next to a Bose Bluetooth speaker, Wi-Fi, and I would get heart palpitations and anxiety and insomnia. Since I hardwired everything, all gone away. So just saying.
Glad you did. Glad you did say.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's just when you open your eyes to this stuff, it's just you try to clean up the house a little bit, and I don't know.
Yeah, there's just so much though, isn't there? That not just on health things. There's just so much.
It's a multi-pronged attack. It's coming from everywhere. I mean, you can't do much about the chemtrails in the sky, but you can in a way. I mean, I do regular fasting now. I recently did a 7-day fast. That was an experience, I can tell you. But I think these things are necessary because we are under this attack that we have to sort of do things, these health protocols to get this stuff out of us, you know. It's a multi-pronged attack and it's hard work, but you know, it's almost like a challenge. It's like, you know, trying to slay the wizards, you know.
I see you've got loads of guitars. Do you play those all? Is that all the lot you use in your videos?
It depends. It depends on what sound I'm going for. I mean, for instance, I've got a nice, this is an interesting story. This guy, this was on Facebook Marketplace. I was just browsing Facebook Marketplace and this baby came up and I always wanted a Fender Strat because you can get a really nice blues sound out of a Fender Strat. They're predominantly used for blues music. And I never had a Stratocaster in my collection. And he only wanted €200 for it. So I messaged the guy. And he was only half an hour away. He said, "Oh, I'll come round. I'll deliver it for you." Like, I said, "No, it's cool, man. I'll come to you." He said, "No, I'll come to you." He comes into the studio and he says, "So what do you do?" He saw the studio. He said, "So what do you do?" I said, "Well, I make conspiracy music." He said, "What about?" I said, "Well, you know, because I'm playing him at this point. I think like,
I want the guitar. I want the guitar. Then I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, I got the guitar, played it a little bit, and then he's interested about what I do. And I said, "Oh, I'll write songs about, you know, the moon landing because, you know, I'm trying to gauge my audience here. I'm trying to see where he is in his life, you know." So I said, "Oh, about the moon landing," and he went, "What, you mean the supposed moon landing?" And I went, "Dude," right? And I gave him a fist bump right there. And because I knew he was awake to that, and now he's one of my best buddies, right? So that was a real nice synchronicity meeting. You know, I bought a guitar off this guy, and now we're good friends.
Yeah, that's nice.
Seeing him this weekend, but that's one guitar. Every guitar's got a story, and every guitar's got a different sound. So if I want to, you know, a more rock sound, I'll use this one, which is a guitar that was made for me by a guy by the name of Mick. That's got an azimuthal equidistant map on it, and it's actually got flat Earth written in the frets. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it. It's upside down, but never mind. We can see it.
What a dick! Can you see that?
Yeah.
Or is it back to front? But yeah, so he's inlaid flat Earth into the fretboard there. He was a fan of my music, and he made me a guitar like and just sent it to me from the States. I mean, what an incredible gift that is, that you can move someone so much with the music that they're willing to make you a bespoke guitar all about flat Earth. So that was just amazing, and that's a real heavy guitar. It's you know, really good for rock. Got some really lively pickups on it. So it kind of depends on the
What about the square-looking one? It looks square. Not that. Oh, go through them.
So the guy I just told you about, the guy I met with the blue guitar, it was my 50th birthday about 4 or 5 months ago, and he bought me this for my 50th birthday, which is a cigar box guitar, and it's a slide guitar. So it's you won't be able to hear it because it's not plugged in, but. So it's like they've got that sort of American kind of Delta blues kind of sound. So everyone has a place, you know. It's just like for different sounds, you have different guitars. Like most people think, oh, one guitar should do everything, but no, you've got different kind of sounds, different. Depends what you're going for, really. So that's why I can do blues music, I can do rock, I can do country.
I think that maybe because your videos are so good, maybe people don't realise that all of it is you, the whole thing. It's not that you're, oh, well, I'll put that program on and I'll do that and, oh, that'll do that. You're actually making the whole thing, all the music's you play every instrument.
Yeah. The whole thing. I mean, all of the vocals, all of the harmonies, all the music production, all of the video. Some people find that hard to believe, but I'm just a creative bloke, and I don't even read music. I've not been I've not had any formal training or anything. I don't, you know, I'm the sort of bloke that buys something and doesn't read the manual. I don't care what the manual says. I want to figure it out for myself. It's like music. Like, I can't read the dots and understand music theory and scales and different music modes. That's just too much. That's too left brain for me. Just give me a guitar and let me sit there with it for a few weeks, and I'll get you something out of it. I just recently bought a mandolin, which is completely different tuning, and that's a really weird instrument. But, you know, just sitting there having fun with it for a few hours, just trying to get something out of it. Just, I don't go for all that reading the music and learning all the scales and theories. It's just, I can't do all of that. It's just, I don't know.
Well, I don't think you need to learn to read music.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. It's too much of a learning curve for me. And I'm very set in my ways now. I've been doing it this way for like 30 years. And I play a bit of piano as well. I've got a piano here in front of me, which you probably can't. Maybe you can't see. Yeah, you see there's a piano there. So, which I've got all my stuff on it at the moment. I've got my homegrown tobacco here, which we grew in the garden. So, I'm smoking that. So yeah, it can end up as a bit of a table. But yeah, I've got my piano here, which can be just a piano. It can be a synthesizer. It can be brass. It can be strings. It could be an accordion. It could be whatever instrument I want it to be, because it all goes through the computer. So I've got the ability to do piano, strings. I can do something orchestral. I can play bass. I can do all the vocals and all that sort of stuff.
You know what? You're really like the man where you remember he's got the drums and he's got everything on him and he pulls the strings and everything goes.
Yeah, like a man band. Yeah, dun dun dun. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, except I don't do it all at once. I do it individual tracks. When I've got an idea for a song, it goes in my phone first as just a poem, really. Then I get into the studio and usually work on the chorus first, because that's the most catchy aspect, the catchiest part of the song. It's the most important part of the song, and I want to get people singing that particular song. Like Don't Believe in Gravity is a really good example of that. Like, don't believe in gravity, really, really catchy. And that's what I want people to understand, that there is an alternative narrative to the Einsteinian, Newtonian nonsense that we've all been taught. So it starts.
Yeah. Show us your books again.
Don't believe in gravity. I mean, the best thing to do really is probably listen to the music video first, but and then I don't know, so let me tell you. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how this book would invoke critical thinking. I mean, how on earth can a ball that spins make a force so strong that sucks everything in, yet birds and insects fly unaffected? Gravity must be so selective. Think about it logically, because that don't make no sense to me. You got to question all those preachers preach and question all those teachers teach. You see, gravity is just a bunch of bull. That Newton guy's just a lying fool. These guys like Newton shouldn't be trusted. Their Freemasonic lies have been busted. So I'm putting all the conspiratorial stuff in there and talking about density and buoyancy and.
When I first saw you, I thought you were Australian.
I remember. Yeah, I know. It'd be the cut-off T-shirts that does it.
Not when I was actually talking to you, but I mean before that, I thought, oh, that's an Australian guy, isn't it?
Oh, the amount of people when I went to America, when I did that conference, that whole thing, all the Americans, they think English people are Australian anyway. So the amount of people that said, I had no idea you were Australian. I'm like, well, no, I'm English, you know. People couldn't believe it, that the accent was so convincing. I mean, I apparently convinced Americans I was American, which is a huge compliment. If I can do an accent.
Do your American accent then, go on.
Well, it was the flat earth. It was this guy. I've still got the hat. This hat's been all over the place. So it was this guy. All I did was this in the studio, and I picked up a guitar and just started to sing a little bit like that. And then all of a sudden, this character just evolved. Then I started to sing like this. And then, I don't know, that character just seemed, it's a really great genre of music to hide behind, which is what I first created the character for, to hide behind. I didn't want to come out with a bunch of flat earth music. I needed to sort of hide behind something. So I did it sort of satirically, comedically, put on the hat and some shades, and then just did a kind of country voice like that. And funny that it became so sort of convincing that people thought it was real. So that was a huge
Yeah, because
compliment,
I, at the beginning, thought Australian.
Yeah, so what the hell was all that about? It's supposed to be an American accent, but the Americans thought it was American. You, for some reason, thought I was Australian. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was. At the very beginning, maybe it was that one. I don't know. I just thought, oh, you're Australian.
Yeah, very weird.
But very soon I learned you weren't. I learned you were English. Or
Yeah, I'm from the
whatever.
same place you are, mate. Yeah, I'm an Essex boy, born and bred in Loughton, and then schooled in Harlow, which is an absolute shithole. And then spent a lot of my entertainment work, like doing pubs and clubs and play. I was a DJ, professional DJ for about 10 years. I was a karaoke compere as well. So I used to go around the pubs comparing karaoke, getting people up to sing and first starting the night off with a few songs myself while people, got in the mood. So I was doing DJing, I was playing the guitar, I was singing, I was doing weddings and karaoke's and engagement parties and birthday parties, and I had my own little rig and I had my own little van, and I was going from pub to pub doing that whole thing for a long time.
So what was it? What was the first thing that made you realise that it wasn't also what you thought it was?
What, the world or the shape or just the world?
World. Just the world. What was one of the first things when you thought, oh, I didn't realise that?
9/11. I had a little tiny studio in my garage. And I was making ringtones. I've still got the ringtone business. It makes me a few quid still, which is nice. But 10 years ago, I was making these ringtones. It was my prime source of income back then. And I had a guy, he was my weed dealer back in the UK. And he used to turn up every now and then, and we used to have a smoke in the studio. And he started telling me about 9/11. And he brought up a video on YouTube. This was 2012, 2013. It must have been 2012, yeah. Brought up a video on my Mac. And he started showing me all this 9/11 stuff, and it just like blew my mind. He showed me the missile that hit the Pentagon, not a plane, a missile. So like just a few frames of it, and I was like, oh. And because he typed that in to show me, YouTube back then wasn't censored, so it was offering up all of these 9/11 videos, like one after the other, like Alex Jones stuff, 9/11, like We Are Change, and I was watching all of that, and it's like
you had Pilots for Truth.
Yeah, exactly. Architects and engineers for all of that sort of stuff.
Do you know why that changed? Because Google bought YouTube, and what's Google? The globe.
Ah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Google Earth, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that just blew my mind. It was just like seeing another side to the 9/11.
I think that's how I got attracted to YouTube, because I saw the same thing. It was 9/11 hoax, and I thought, what do you mean? But you know, when you went there, you're just, oh my God.
Exactly.
I watched it for about 3 years trying to work it out.
Yeah, that's the whole catalyst that got a lot of people into this. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that guy showing me the video of that. It just started me on this snowball effect of watching every single video that YouTube was recommending. And of course, it was recommending conspiracy videos back then. New World Order, Illuminati stuff, all of that. So I was drinking it all in for like a good 2012 to 2016, so a good 4 years before Flat Earth came on my radar. I was like, oh no, not that as well. Don't tell me
that's how I felt. I'd done 9/11, and my theory is that some of it's still under the ground, because I feel that people are walking on it and don't even realise they are. And when they uncover that, then they'll know the truth.
Yeah,
that's where I got to. And then someone said they were going to go and do Nibiru, and I said, well, I'll go and do flat stuff. And I watched like 2 videos, and that was it for me. But first of all, I thought, no, I'm not doing that. Not something else. Not now. And then within weeks, I was looking it up, and then 2 videos.
It's addictive, isn't it? Once your eyes are open to something like 9/11 and then something else comes on your table, you can't leave it alone. It's like this irresistible treat, because there's some gravy there. There's some sweet. You're going to be empowered by it. As dark as it is, there's going to be some empowering information there. So it is an addiction almost. It's like
it's the biggest spider's web you could ever think of.
Yeah.
And when you get there, it tunnels off into another 20,000 spiders' webs in it, and it just goes on and on.
There are so many rabbit holes. Every rabbit hole, there's another rabbit hole, and you go down the rabbit hole, and there's 4 more, and then you go down that. It never ever.
Do you know what annoys me though? We get a bit of information, and then you can't find any more. And then, for instance, Napoleon, he was a Roman emperor. Henry VIII was a Roman emperor. They're all Roman emperors. The Tsar was. And then, it just blows your mind.
It's one big club. It's one big club, right? And you ain't in it.
And they're pretending we've got democracy.
It's a joke, isn't it? Isn't it a joke? Oh God, you got to have fun with this, though. You got to have fun because again, to repeat what I've said, once your eyes are open to this sort of stuff, it becomes so dark and so demonic. You're like, where the fuck are we? This is the bad place. But you can sit and wallow and dwell in all of that negativity.
You know, I think as well, Alex. I mean, again, people might think I'm mad, but you know, a lot of people say, oh, you've got this wrong, it's the pixels. And maybe sometimes it might be. But when they changed the black and white films to colour, that put a whole layer on top. They were able to change people. And I think a lot of the people in the videos were dark-skinned people because we got, you know, I found videos in the 1900s, everybody is getting a degree. There was no animosity then. They've just made it happen somehow in time and then made it look just like they've done with it was so many years ago, the globe was found when it wasn't, you know, like it was the 1960s they did it.
Yeah.
You know,
the globe is the new kid on the block.
So close as well. It's not even that long ago.
It's really, really recent. It's really recent. That was the mind fuck for me. It's like, oh my God, people say we've known it's a globe for 2,000 years. No, it's so recent. The globe is the new kid on the block.
I believe we were still in Tartaria into the 1900s. I think that's what the First and Second World War were about.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Absolutely destroying the evidence.
Yeah, and do you know what? Mickey, my boyfriend, he found this map in London where they said that this for so many weeks, I think it was 6 months or less, how many weeks it was, this is where all the bombs were in London. I'm telling you, they destroyed London. According to that map, if that map's true, you just can't, you know, when you look at that, they must have just destroyed all these key things.
History is written by the winners of wars, right?
Yeah, and they changed our history. Like we already know America, all the towns were called something else. They changed all their names. In the 1800s, they got rid of towns and then they put dams over the top and all sorts of things. It's just, oh yeah, and that's my saddest bit, Alex, is that when you go and look it up, there's so much abandoned. Hospitals, schools, towns, buildings. It's just mind-boggling. And they've got, say, people's records in their desks with thousands of records in there which would break hippo laws. So all these rules and regulations they put us in, they don't follow them. There's just so much abandoned. It's just, you know, we're living in this abandoned place and you can find many channels that go, and that was what makes me laugh. I mean, they're the real reporters because they're showing us what's abandoned, but YouTube support them usually breaking and entering into people's houses and they pay them. And we say flatty or something and then we get our videos get restricted or whatever it is.
I know.
It's just total. I'm glad we see those videos because it really changed my mind. They go around and they can find blood, needles, biohazard. These all break hippo laws, all left in the hospitals. It could have been left there for 20, 30 years. And, you know, like, we're just living in this place that says it's got all these rules and doesn't. It just doesn't abide by the rules it makes.
This is the bad place. I'm convinced this is the bad place. There's something to it.
I agree with you. I've started to say to people, are you sure we're not in hell? Other people will say, the only hell is the one you make. Yeah? So this is it. Enjoy it. But it just seems that even my own family, you know, like, everybody's just these little robots that believes anything they say.
Yeah, we're living amongst all of these zombies. It's really frightening when you start going down that road and start seeing what's actually happening to humanity. They're under a spell. It is literal wizardry.
I know my family, like, you know, some of my family, although things change, I'm getting on much better with my mum and dad right now, but they all pull away and they say, you know, they're not calling you mad, but they are really, because of the way they treat you.
Exactly. I have it in my own, not my own family. I've distanced myself from my own family, sadly, but in a way it's been very liberating. But my wife's family.
I get some really lovely messages. I know that I will never meet these people, but some people leave me some really nice messages, and then you realise, you know,
that's the irony of it. some of our nearest and dearest and our closest friends are people that we will probably never meet. But yet our families are the ones that are distancing ourselves because of our beliefs, because of our understandings. Like, you know, so some of the people that I'm the closest to, I've never met yet.
Yes, I agree. Amy is that one for me. She lives in America, but she would protect me hell or high water. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's a lovely woman. She's been a really good friend of mine. We met through the Watts case, which was a fake case, but that was in 2018, and we've been really good friends since, but I have never met her yet.
The irony there that, you know,
Monique's another one, and Gillian, she's in Australia. You know, people I've got really good friendships with, I'll probably might not meet most of them.
I know the irony there is astounding. My father-in-law has just had in the last year he's had 5 jabs, 5 of them, and he's just recently had a stroke and
blood clot. Something. My dad has had the flu jabs and the other ones, and he's got cancer now. Jesus. He's got bone cancer, so he'll have to live with that one. Probably. You just have to
we know that we know what's caused that, don't we? And but you're trying to get through. It's such a struggle. It really is, because for whatever reason, some people are just not destined to see it. He knows of my work. I think he knows of, and I've tried to drop a seed here and there, but for some reason, I mean, I always say this quote from.
What is it about some of us that see it?
It's again. I'm just this Da Vinci quote. He said there are 3 classes of people: those that see when they are shown. That's me. And those who do not see. And for whatever reason, will always be this class of people that just don't see. For whatever reason, it's their journey. It's just not their time or whatever, but they just have this. I've got a friend of mine, Howard. He's probably the most one of the most informed people I know. And he lives, you know, he's trying to get his parents to see this. And they just fight him on every point that he makes. They will never, ever see it. And he's so good at putting this information across. So if he can't do it, it just can't be done for whatever reason. They just have this blockage. They can't see it. There are this class of people that do not see, and I just don't get it. It's just not their time. It's not their path they're on, and I guess we have to respect that.
I think the television has mind control, and I find that quite incredible. You buy the television, you pay for the electric, you buy the system, usually, you know, Sky and they're mind controlling you. That is incredible. Yeah. But I have the same. When I went to stay with my parents last year, my dad had the eagles up everywhere because he doesn't see it that way. To him, they're antique things. He likes them, and everywhere I went, there's like an eagle here, an eagle there, and I'm saying, Dad, and he's going, "Are you mad? You are mad." He thought I was mad. He understood that they were some sort of symbol. He understood that. He shouted that one at me, but the rest, I was mad.
Yeah, maybe we are. Maybe we are the mad ones. Maybe we should have taken the blue pill, eh? Like that guy Cypher in the Matrix.
Do you know what, Alex? Do you know what a lot of it is to do with? I go back to this bit, and I'm sure that you'll agree with me. You have to know who you are as a person. If you don't, you're always going to go, yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Your answers will be different. When you know who you are, you make different decisions. And it's just different. And then you learn more. When you don't know, you can't learn anything. When you know who you are as a person, this stuff comes and comes and comes. That's what I think.
Yeah, you open the floodgates to it all, don't you? And you do become a different person. And I think you resonate on a different level. And I've got my father-in-law coming over on Tuesday. In fact, my in-laws are coming over on Tuesday. So they're going to be here for 2 weeks staying with us. So I've got to sort of hold back on the things that I know and just have those superficial conversations about the weather and, you know, my tool collection and that kind of thing. So that's going to be a bit difficult for me. But I've sort of really become comfortable with the idea.
Show in the garden and show how differently you're doing your growing. Maybe that would be a start.
Yeah. That's once people can see, you know, like be the change you want to see, and once people can see that you're happy and you know you're.
You know what? You know what it probably means. I'm not being rude to anybody, but you know, when I listen to people who've woken up or people who are researching, everybody seems quite clever. That's what it's to do with as well. I don't mean that someone isn't, but there's some cleverness we've got.
It's critical thought. You again, I don't know why some people can't see it. Again, Da Vinci, there are those that do not see and will not see, and I just have to accept that. and just to, have those superficial conversations, which is going to happen, which is fine. Maybe it will be a good opportunity for me to come out of the rabbit hole for a little bit and just go back into the matrix and blue pill for a little bit, go to a bar, have a drink, a cocktail, sit by the sea and talk about the weather and all of that sort of thing. It might be good for me, because sometimes
he might help you write another song when it's his thing to say. He could be one of your characters.
That's how the song I Don't Want to Talk About NASA came about, because I was waking up to the whole NASA nonsense and I was trying to tell everyone, and everybody I sat down and had a meal with, I was going like, NASA. And I was just met with such, the barriers went up and there was so many arguments, and it really, really triggered a lot of people, and I lost friends over it. And that's why the line is, I don't want to talk about NASA.
That's the weirdest thing. I had friends when I moved here for, say, 30 years. I'd go to bands with them. Okay, I'm a bit older and I've moved a few miles away. Got nothing in common with these people anymore. And the people where you thought would understand what we're living on, they didn't.
But look what you're attracting now, though. That's the thing. That's the way you should look at it. That's the way I look at it. Although I've lost friends, as I put in my music, and I've lost, I've distanced myself from my family and all of that, and I have to have these superficial conversations. But what I've gained, the people in my social circle now
one day I heard your mum's really proud of you.
Yeah, that's another story as well. Don't get me on that, but no, probably not. But that's another story. But one of the reasons I'm so independent is because I didn't have much encouragement when I was a young boy. But that's another story. A wonderful group of people that I've been in Spain now for 8 years. And for the first 3 or 4 of those years, it was pretty lonely because I was waking up to this stuff and I was in a foreign land and I didn't speak the language. So that can be quite lonely. But thankfully, my wife is on board with everything. So we had each other, so we were waking up together to this whole NASA and the Earth and everything. And now slowly but surely, I'm getting people around me. Like I've probably got about 10 really, really good friends that are really on the really woke. We're very, 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 very conscious beings. And I just love being around.
Are they English people or Spanish people or both?
No, not Spanish. I've got I've got a couple of American friends, a French friend. I've got a couple of English people over here as well. Yeah, no, 4 or 5 English, and they're all very conscious, slightly different levels of consciousness. Some are not, most of them are flat, I would say. But that's what I've attracted. So although it's really, really sad that I've had to say goodbye, or at least distance myself from other people from my past life, and even my family included, what I have now in my social circle is gold, absolute gold. In fact, this weekend we're going out and I cannot wait to sit around the dinner table with these people and have these conscious conversations and talk. And some guy one of my friends makes bread, and my wife makes jams, and we trade and all of these sort of things. And that's community that we're trying to grow over here. It's quite difficult.
I'm coming now. I'm going to be moving in.
It's difficult. It's very, very difficult to try and find conscious friends, English-speaking friends in a Spanish country. That's quite tough, but we're getting there. We've now got a little group of friends that I wouldn't give up for the world, and I love it. And we're just going to grow it and grow it and grow it and grow it. So that's the good thing. The point being, that's the good thing to be taken from all this. Yes, we do lose family members and close friends from our past life, but we are gaining a new one.
Wow, Alex.
I'm getting a bit philosophical now, aren't I? Because I've had a smoke.
Yes, you changed a bit, Alex.
No, I don't know. Maybe this is what comes with. This is why I think knowledge is power, because it empowers you, doesn't it? I didn't know how to plant a potato 2 years ago because of the whole COVID narrative. I'm in the garden doing stuff, and I'm a musician. I shouldn't know how to garden, but we just tried it by watching a bunch of YouTube videos. That's what YouTube is good for. No good for truth, but for self-sufficiency videos and gardening stuff, it's great. So I'm a doer, I'm a trier, and I've started a new life for myself here, and I'm very excited about the future. I know we're in a bad time and a tough place at the moment, and everything's so uncertain and that, but I don't know. I just think, non-compliance and taking your power back and growing food and putting your big boy pants on is very empowering.
Yes. Well, I'm really pleased for you. You sound really happy, so that's good. And you've done your books, or half the book.
Yeah, it's an ongoing project. Can you
show us them again? Can you?
Of course. Yeah. My favourite one. I mean, this has been the most popular one. Don't believe in gravity. because that was the first one that came out, and there was a bit of noise made about it, and I went on a bunch of channels, and so a lot of people have seen that one. Don't Believe in Gravity. But the Do You Still Believe We Went to the Moon book is, again, showing all the nonsense about the Apollo missions, about this line is good. Like the telemetry data that's all gone missing. 13,000 reels? Are you kidding? A giant leap for all mankind, but you lost the data and no one can find. Told you the. And the telephone call that Nixon made to the moon that's 250,000 miles away when I can't get a signal online. I guess phones were better in '69. And the rock, the moon rock, and all of that they gave to this Dutch museum, and it turned out to be nothing more than petrified wood. All of these sort of bullet points I highlight in this very vibrant and colourful, critical thinking invoking kind of book.
All the book, like you did the whole thing. No one helped you with styling it or anything like that.
I did get a little bit of help from styling it when we reached out to the community, because I had no idea how to put something like that together. I'm not bad on Photoshop, but I had some ideas, and a guy by the name of Lousing put a few demos in front of me, and I was like, and it really inspired me what he'd done. He was the guy that came up with the idea of this frame. This is like a Western frame. It's kind of like a country and Western mirror. So because the character is kind of country and Western, when he came up with that idea to put like a Western frame around every sort of screenshot. And that really inspired me. So then I ran with all the different colors that you see in the background. And then I put a filter on the screenshots to make it more cartoony and more colorful. So back and forth we went for a while until we got the first book out, which was Don't Believe in Gravity. Then after that, I sort of took the reins. So like now I know how to do it from collaborating with this guy, right? I said, like, okay, I'm not going to bother you anymore. Thank you. And we've had a little an agreement between us. And so now I've sort of taken the reins, and I know how to do all the formatting and a bit of photoshopping and that. So like the last two books have been like solely me, although he still does the PDF formatting for me. But all the design for the last two books have been me. And the next one that's coming out is Welcome to the Satellite Hoax, which is another rabbit hole. So, yeah. So,
do you know what? I'm noticing that there are these great big towers, only like a mile or two apart. How anybody could think it goes up there? It goes to the towers. It's just ridiculous how they've got everybody thinking.
Yep.
Just ridiculous.
They're just on balloons, man. They don't orbit the Earth. Yeah, I put that all out in the song. It's called Welcome to the Satellite Hoax on my channel, Conspiracy Music Guru. It's now going to be a song, and it's these songs seem to be incredibly effective, and they are changing minds and changing paradigms. And I love seeing it. I love getting the messages that people say it's because of you that I started looking into this stuff, or it's because of a line in your song. I was on a stream the other day, and he said it wasn't the song that did it. It was just one line in your song that got me looking into the whole 432 hertz and 440 hertz conspiracy. He said it wasn't the song. It was just that one line. He said, I didn't realize there was a frequency conspiracy. And he just started researching it. And lo and behold, of course, when you go down that rabbit hole, you find all the information about the bastardization of our music. So it's not just the song that could do it. It's one line in a song that can really get people go, I never knew about that. I'm going to research it. I love that how effective that kind of creativity can be.
If in your life, if you help one person, you've won.
Isn't that lovely? Isn't that a lovely feeling? You know, and I know I've reached more than one person. You know, and there's one guy, THC, Mike Labrash. He's got a channel on YouTube called The Truther Hour of Comedy. THC. It's a cannabis-themed truther show. And I'm one of the guys that helped him to wake up to this whole thing about the NASA nonsense and the shape of the world. And he was looking at my music videos, and he was like, how is this guy putting so much time and effort? Why is he doing that if he didn't have a message? And he started looking into it, and lo and behold, he's now producing a really good show, cannabis-themed truther. It's very light-hearted and often funny, and he's putting these truths out there because, you know, and I'm the guy that sort of helped him along that way. So it's amazing how that the music can change people's lives like that and get them. That's wizardry, but it's white magic in a way, you know, and I think there's something really beautiful to that.
And not just that, you actually like doing it as well, don't you?
I do, but it does depend on the frame of mind that I'm in. Creativity doesn't happen between 9 and 5. It happens when I've got an idea and I want to come into the studio and then get that idea from my head into fruition. So I don't believe that I should be in a studio all day for 8 hours a day creating content. I don't think that's healthy for anyone. So I like to split time between the studio and the garden. That's pretty much my life, really. Studio, garden. And I enjoy both of those things, and if I can get free fruit from the garden and then I can go in the studio and then sort of, try and wake people up to these ideas, then that's quite empowering. And I quite like the how it's resonating with people.
Yes, I like it too.
Good.
Yeah, you've changed quite a lot since we've last talked. I suppose things were changing in your mind when we last spoke. But
what do you mean exactly? Let me drill down on that. What do you mean I've changed quite a lot? Do you think in a good way, evolved?
You said it. You said a bit more. I can't say the word now.
Philosophical.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's been a couple of years since we spoke last, and a couple of years is a long time. And I've been involved in a lot of things musically. And
I think we have spoken. It's not a couple of years, but it is on Hangouts. We haven't done a Hangout for a while.
Yeah, exactly. But we've never really, we've messaged back and forth, but we've never really gone into like deep detail.
No, you've been busy. You've been busy.
Yeah, no, don't be offended by that. It's not because I'm busy. It's just that I don't really use social media. So I get the odd message, but my messages are so
Alex,
brief.
I understand. Don't worry. You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't really. I came off. I deleted my website, my Telegram, my Instagram, and I did all of that because I was getting quite a lot of messages, and I was like, I prefer this sort of interaction. If I'm honest with you, I can't get across my way of thinking and my, messages are really, really limited. You really can't really get across what's on your mind in a message. You can't really get across. It's a very difficult way of communicating for me. I prefer, interactions where I can see someone's face. No offense. Sorry,
I was showing my face before, but it slowed the bandwidth down, so I took it off.
No, absolutely. Yes, you did. We did have a long conversation before we came on when I actually saw your face, so that's cool. But no, I prefer that kind of interaction. Where was I going? I'm completely lost now.
Now and again, someone is messaging on Messenger. It's really annoying me, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Sorry about that.
That's what I mean. Right, you made my point for me. Yeah, but yeah. Our messages have never really been in depth, because I don't really like to go too in depth in messages and have these really long essay-like messages. It's always been between me and you. Hey, how you doing? What are you up to? Yeah, I'm fine. How are you? Yeah, I'm really good. Doing some books. Oh, that's great. So now we've finally got a chance to come on the stream and actually talk in depth a little bit about it. And I prefer that a little bit. But yeah. Busy.
Yeah, you sound very busy to me.
Yeah, and apparently, according to you, I'm growing philosophically as well, which is nice, right?
But then, we didn't talk much when we were in lockdown, did we? That part was a big of a gap for I think loads of people. I don't know. You just didn't really speak to that many people. Things change you a bit, don't they? And you've moved on, and I really appreciate you doing the books, because I just am that somebody's trying as much as possible.
Thank you for having me on, and for giving me an opportunity to talk about the book and to talk about what I'm doing, and that I'm in a nice place in my life. I'm trying to wake people up to this stuff. I'm trying to do it with some good intent and trying to slay the wizards, and I don't know, I don't know, what can I say, really? It's just
yeah. And anyway, I'm a bit more tied to the computer, making videos. I mean, I know you're tied to your computer, but not everybody. I'm doing Hangouts with a lot of people, and that's what I like, but that doesn't mean that you like it. That's the way it goes. It just everybody likes.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. It's just like when I'm really busy, when I've got a creative project going on, and my only focus is this song I'm working on, and that's it. I'm really sort of myopic, and I'm like, this project only. And then I get people going, "Hello, what are you up to?" Blah blah, and all these other interference. And at that point, I just ignored them all. It's probably quite rude, really. But at one point, I was getting so many messages, I just ignored them all, and I probably seemed like quite a bit of a dick for doing that. But when you've got a creative mindset. You just have to block everything out if I want to produce something like these books or the music and that. So sometimes I can disappear, and then I'm all of a sudden Alex is back and wants to do streams and that. And right now, okay, leave him alone. He wants to be in his studio. It's kind of I don't know. I suffer from my own creative guy. I'm sort of dark. Sometimes I'm light. Sometimes I'm dark. Sometimes I'm up, and sometimes I'm down. It's just depends on what time of year it is.
Oh, you sound it normal then, actually. Isn't that normal kind of person?
Yeah, exactly. We're all the same, aren't we? Like sometimes we're moody, and like when I'm moody and someone wants to do an interview, I'm like, no, I don't want to. You know, or you know, when I'm creative, I want to be creative. I have that luxury. But yeah, we're all the same. It's just, you know, it's part of our it's in the stars, I guess, the kind of person I am. It's just like sometimes I'm up for being social, sometimes I'm not. Maybe that's, you know, if I went to the doctor, he would probably prescribe me as bipolar, and I'd be on all sorts of medication if I didn't better.
Oh, no. Yes. Well, no, I think you're lovely, and I do very much appreciate taking this time. I know you wanted to obviously show your books. How long has the books taken, like each one? Was the first one the longest, or is it getting easier to put them together, or is each book very...
It gets easier. The first one was the hardest because we had to, you know, figure out a design and how it was all going to look, and we had to figure out what distributor we were going to use and which one was the best and which had the furthest reach and that. So took probably a couple of months just to get the first one out. But then once you've done one, you know, the second one, well, like we know what we're doing now, so like the rest are easy. I can sort of take over now and do the rest. But you know, it only takes a couple of weeks to design everything in Photoshop, and probably a couple of weeks a book. But yeah, it's just it's a great thing on one hand, but on another hand, like I want to get back to doing the music as well, because you know I'm good at that, and I want to, you know, I've still got so many songs written in my phone that I want to, you know, I want to do some more solfeggio stuff, the healing music and that. It's just, I've only got one pair of hands, Karen. You know
Alex,
what
you want it all. Alex wants it all.
Say that again.
You want it all.
I want it all. I want it all. I just want a pair of hands. I want a cloning machine. I've just got so much I want to do, but
or a secretary.
You know, yeah, I need so much. You know what it's like, Aaron. There's only so many hours in a day. It's just like sleeping.
Yeah,
like
sometimes, you know, I sometimes spend hours making these videos. Like a video for 5 minutes could have taken me 12 hours, and one that was half an hour long took me half an hour almost. You know, yeah. It's a bit like that sometimes, and you know, it's because you're not happy with things, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah, you watch it back and you go, oh, I want to make a little minute change here and there, and you end up procrastinating over it like for hours and hours.
I hate nearly every video I do. The music has to jump once. It has to do it. So if I'm recording and I think I've done it, in the end I give up. All right, they'll just have to have it jumping once, and then sometimes it's perfect. It just annoys me a bit.
It's a nightmare. Yeah. It's an absolute nightmare. And when you get into music production and like something doesn't sound right, the amount of procrastination and changing this and changing this, just like constantly adjusting things for hours and hours and days until it sounds right or till it looks right. It's very frustrating. I mean,
I'm not quite like you. I don't spend quite as long as you, but sometimes it is quite a long time. If people are here, it might be a bit boring.
I think some of the simple stuff could be more effective. I mean, I've learned that with my channel. I could put months into a music video, which I did with Space is Fake. And then I put 1 day into a music video, which was called I Told You So, which was basically me shouting into a microphone a bunch of conspiracies to a blues track. And that had more legs than the video that I made that took me 3 months. So sometimes the video that takes you like the least amount of time could be more effective. So I still haven't got it quite.
I know that is weird, isn't it? I sometimes I think I don't even know if I want to put this video out. I don't think it's good enough.
Exactly.
And that's the one that gets 1,000.
Exactly. It's exactly how I felt with I Told You So. I just made it and I didn't put any tagging on it or anything. I just put it out and I put, did you feel like this sometimes? It was me going, I told you so. Because I was frustrated at the time. And I put it out there and I didn't expect it to get the legs it would. And I didn't even want to put it out there. But I put it out there and it's the second most popular video on my channel. Go figure.
Oh, anyway, Alex, we've been going for an hour and a half. Do you think that's long enough?
Yeah, Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we've had a nice chat, haven't we? You know, are we live on your YouTube channel at the moment?
No, it will go out tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
But
Well, it's
the
been a nice
chat
chat.
room will be live. So it's kind of the same thing for them, just that we recorded it the day before. I've got to upload it and then put it on YouTube and
Okay, send me a link and I'll jump in the chat.
yay! I really appreciate it. I wish you so much luck with your books.
Thank you. You too as well. Not with your books, but just with your life in general and that, you know, because I think you're doing great work, and I love these alternative ideas. And you know, anyone that's speaking out is a friend of mine as far as I'm concerned.
Yay! Well, thank you very much, and thank you very much for everything that you do. The music, the videos, the one-man band, the books.
Yeah, one man band. That's pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? Really, one man band. Yeah. I need more people. I need more. I wish there was more people in this community doing more creative stuff, more music, and that, because even the simplest stuff can be really effective. Memes, that sort of stuff, little gifs, that sort of stuff. You know, you don't have to do full man band like I'm doing. Just the simplest meme can be enough to just plant that seed. So the more creativity we see in this community, the better. I think we need a lot more of it. A lot more of it. I want to see more.
Oh yeah, thank you for your vegetables. Thanks for going kind of green.
Yeah, trying to, you know, no expert or anything, making a lot of mistakes. I love making mistakes, you know, just dipping my toe in or dipping my fingers in, really. I never thought I'd. It's my wife, really, that does all the work. She does all the germinating. She understands all the companion planting, and she understands the seasons and all that. I'm just the hired help that puts all the soil into the containers for her. So I'm just the muscle, really, around here. But yeah, it's definitely teamwork, and we just tried it and we're loving it. And I encourage anyone to just, you know, stick some potatoes in the ground and see what happens, and just try, you know, just grow some stuff on your window or grow vertically if you're limited for space. Just try.
Yeah, you can do microgreens if you're in a flat.
Microgreens, great, yeah, all of that sort of stuff. I mean, even if you're limited for space, even if you've got a tiny balcony, there's no excuse, because you can grow vertically. I've shown that in my video with garden towers that you can do. So yeah, there's no excuse. Just dip your finger in. I know people are limited for time and that, but you know, just plant the seed. That's what we're all about.
Thank you so much, Alex, and for explaining about tower growing.
There you go. Yeah, have a look at my channel. There's a video called Garden Tour, and in that I explain about my garden towers. They're basically vertical cylinders like that, big cylinders like that you can get from any plumber's merchant. You drill holes in the side and you fill it with soil, and you put little, I don't know, you can put lots of salads and lettuces and herbs and all that. So we've got herb towers, and they just grow like a tree. And so you have one of them on your balcony, you can get like 70 sort of plants, you know, just from growing from a 1 meter square space. So yeah, there's a lot of information out there. So we're having a go, and we're only 2 years in, and we're getting some really good results.
Is your growing your vegetables, is it like permaculture, or is everything sort of quite, you know, everything's in rows and you know where everything is? Because permaculture is all about it all growing together. Do you do that?
Exactly. That's why I mentioned companion planting, which is my wife is pretty up on. So it's basically letting nature do its thing. You could just basically take a bunch of seeds of all different varieties, throw them, and let nature do its thing, kind of thing. So yeah, we do utilize some permaculture techniques. We're not just doing it in that sort of logistical formulated row after row. Now we're just sort of letting everything do it. Obviously there's some maintenance and a little bit of knowledge with companion planting and that sort of thing, but we pretty much let nature do its thing.
Thank you for explaining that one, Alex.
You're welcome.
Anyway,
Until next time.
It's been really great chatting to you, and as I say, I wish you much success with your books. And
thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, any links. I'm always grateful of a link or two. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, if people want to find out more about me, Conspiracy Music Guru, 3 words, conspiracymusicguru.com. You can find my videos on YouTube. You can find my music on Instagram, on iTunes, Amazon, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. I'm pretty out there. So yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Until next time.
Okay, don't go from here, but we'll just say goodbye for the hangout. Alex, mwah, and chat room, mwah. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.